NCT review, which is our national competency test. This is where you get your certification. We're going to be talking about copay versus coinsurance. And you guys know when we started medical terminology, I told you needed to get note cards or a notebook or something special to write notes in. Well, you need to definitely write some notes on this. This is not the only time we're going to cover it, but please just do your best to really understand and learn this, the difference between copay and coinsurance. Okay, copays and coinsurance apply to several forms of insurance, including health, vision, and dental. The easiest way to remember the difference between a copay and coinsurance is this. Copayments are fixed fees your provider charges for services. So copays are fixed. Coinsurance is a percentage of the cost you pay for services. So in other words, a copay that's $20 will always be $20, but a 20% coinsurance fee will change depending on the cost of the service. The rates for each depend on the policy you've chosen. An insurance plan with higher premiums typically have lower copays and coinsurance fees. It's important to remember that there are different copays for different services. An emergency room copay isn't the same as a general provider office exam copay. However, your coinsurance rate is always the same regardless of the service or procedure. So let's talk about copays again. So what it was saying here, that there are different copays for different services. I'll just give you an example. For me to go to my primary care physician is $25 every time I walk in the door. I know I've got to pay that $25. If I need to go to the emergency room, it's $250. To walk in the door, get seen, it's going to be $250. So co-payments are fixed. Coinsurance is a percentage. So copays are fixed, coinsurance is a percentage. Have you heard of the 80-20? 70-30 insurance? If you haven't, we're going to be talking about that some more as we go through front office and things like that. But I have an 80-20 insurance, which means my insurance pays 80 and I pay 20, 80%, 20%. So again, copays are fixed. Every time I go see my doctor, $25. My coinsurance is 20%. After I meet my deductible, but I didn't want to get into that real heavy. So again, keywords, guys. You're going to hear me say it a million times. Please keep up with your keywords. Please learn them. Please memorize them, make copies, whatever it takes. But for the next while, key terms is where it's at. Please keep up with your key terms. Copayments are fixed fees your provider charges for services. Coinsurance is a percentage of the cost you pay for services. Copayments are fixed. Coinsurance is percentages, a percentage. In a plan's terms, you sometimes see coinsurance represented as a ratio. An 80-20, we just talked about that just a second ago. Health insurance plan means your insurance will cover 80% of the cost, and your responsibility for the remaining is 20%. Another key difference between the two, out-of-pocket expenses, is when you have to pay. Coinsurance applies only after you've met your deductible. Okay. Just bear it in mind. Coinsurance does not come into play until after you've met your deductible. Copayments are often apply both before and after you've met your deductible. Your deductible is the amount of money you have to pay out of pocket for covered services before your insurance starts to pay. Since coinsurance only applies after that, it doesn't contribute to your deductible. Copays apply both before and after, but they usually don't count toward your deductible either. Okay. My deductible on my health insurance plan is $1,500. So This coinsurance, this 80/20, does not even count until after I've met my deductible. So right now, I want you to remember co-payments, co-pays are a set amount. Coinsurance is a percentage. Co-pays, coinsurance, and out-of-pocket maximums. Co-pays and coinsurance are out-of-pocket costs. That means you, the policyholder, are responsible for paying them. Co-pays and coinsurance. But that also means that they contribute to your out-of-pocket maximum, which is the most you'll have to pay out of pocket each year. Every time you make a co-payment or foot the bill for coinsurance, it brings you closer to your out-of-pocket maximum. Once your out-of-pocket maximum is reached, your insurance responsibility for 100% of the cost of covered services for the remainder of the year. Okay, so several years ago, it's been more than several, it's probably been about four years ago, I had to have my thyroid removed. My deductible at the time was $1,500. So through tests and different things that I had to have before my surgery, I met my $1,500 deductible. So once I had my surgery and I paid the 20%, anything that I had to do that year was not charged. I hope that makes sense. But your deductible is what you have to reach. That's that big number. If you have private insurance, I very rarely meet my deductible in a year, and that's most of us. My deductible is $1,500. So anytime I go to the doctor and I pay something, that goes towards my deductible. But I hope that this makes sense and it does not confuse you. So here is another key term. Your deductible is the amount of money you have to pay out of pocket for covered services before your insurance starts to pay. Since coinsurance only applies after that, it doesn't contribute to your deductible. So your deductible is the amount of money you have to pay out of pocket for covered services before your insurance starts to pay. So that's that big amount. So let's go back and once again, go over. Co-payments are fixed fees your provider charges for services. Remember, mine's $25. Coinsurance is a percentage of the cost you pay for services, and that coinsurance clicks in after you meet your deductible. And your deductible is the amount of money you have to pay out of pocket for covered services before your insurance starts to pay. Since coinsurance only applies after that, it doesn't contribute to your deductible. So I hope that this makes sense. I don't know, when I planned this lesson out, I thought it was, I didn't think it was confusing, and I hope that you don't find it confusing. But the major thing that I want you to take out of this is I need you to know what a copayment is, what coinsurance is, and what a deductible is. It is a must. Please know those things. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow.